Hello and welcome to day 19 of JavaScript arrays in 30 days. We're getting closer to the end of the 30 days where we have been going step by step, I guess you would say, along the lines of just taking what we have available with arrays in JavaScript and starting to get into a declarative functional style coding approach where we're able to take more advanced data sets and being able to declaratively remove that imperative code that could take up a lot of our mental processing in order to get the data that we want to and the values out, and more to where we're able to declaratively uh, say what it is, say, right, type, however you want to say it, be able to in a more easier, how am I trying to put this, in an easier mental capacity to be able to describe what it is that we need, so to speak. So I want to say that we're at a process point. Got my words all messed up today. Point to where I'm looking to work with the methods that we have created. You remember that we've created concat all, concat map, reduce, and then yesterday zip. We want to take this and make it to where we're now having a much more detailed list of objects that then go into more depth of data that we have, I guess you could say. One thing that we've done is from the data that we've continued to collect over these days is we have now introduced the concept of having two arrays on the same level. So we have box arts and we have interesting moments. Yesterday when we worked with the zip is that we actually had interesting moments as another array that was on the same level as movie lists. Now we are going more in depth. So one, two, so we're three levels in, and we now have on the same level, we have interesting moments and box arts. So what we're going to try to do today is I'm going to try to do, if you happen to be one that's listening, watching, is I want to be able to take and have a return object that has a video ID, a video title, a time, and a URL. So the URL is we're going to be getting the smallest of the URLs. Let's jump back up here. So in our box arts, we have URLs. And so between these two options, I'll obviously want this one because it's the smallest of the two. But then at the same time, I have interesting moments where I've got a type of end, start, and middle. And so what I want to do is I want to get the time that's in the middle. So that makes it very interesting because of the object. We have to be able to somehow or another be able to jump in and grab the box art and interesting moments that are on the same level. So we have two arrays that simultaneously we need to be able to dig into and be able to filter out and reduce interesting keywords there for us. The smallest box art and the middle interesting moment. So if we look at this, we've got these methods that we've created. Now, if we were to look at the imperative way of doing this, is that if I open these up, is that you'll start to see that we have a lot of mental processing that we're having to do here. So if you take a look, continue. So if you look at, if we need to zip, remember that this is going to actually take two arrays and then it's going to use a combine function that then is going to be able to combine the left and the right simultaneously. Because wherever we're at in the index, we are going to go ahead and get the value at that point in time. But then, if we need to then also, reduce an array, because in our reduce, we're actually returning an array as opposed to the reduce that you might be used to where you're just returning a value. And then concat map, we're actually we're combining map and then we're concaten. So that again, then we have to go back up to concat all to where we're for each and through each of the subarrays, and then we're returning the results. So if you've been able to follow along what I've said for the last couple of minutes, is that there's a lot of overhead that you have to put into your mind in order to figure out how is it that we're going to go through this this data set and actually pull everything we need out to, so that then we're able to get the video ID, the title, the time that's in the middle, and the smallest of the box arts. So let's see what this is going to look like using these methods that we have created, and see if we can do this in a way to where it's declarative. And I continue to use that word for myself so that I can mentally understand that I've been able to completely reduce the need to figure out how I'm going to manipulate this data into a way to where I'm going to be able to dive in and be able to simultaneously, as we said, now that we're using zip, is to return an object that is one level, so a deep nested an array that the object is then going to be able to flatten and then return us the particular properties that we want on this object. So when I use some of those words, and which helps me because I've been able to say some key words there that go along with the methods that we have created. And so for the time being, let me close up this. So the first thing that we know is, based upon what we've done before and what we have now, is that we've got an object here with new releases, and then we've got an object here with an instant queue. That immediately tells me that we have to concat map, because we need to take those two objects and put them into one. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to take the movie list and concat map over those. And for that, we're then going to get a movie list. So now it will have to, so now we've got it down to the movie list, and we have to go one level deep because that tells us that we need to go another level. So now that we're now that we've been able to combine these two objects, the name and so the new releases and instant queue, we've been able to combine those by doing a concat. So we've mapped over and we've done a concat. We now have to go to another level deep, because we've got videos and we've got videos. So we've got two arrays for new releases and for instant queue. And so now we want to concat together the videos. So that tells me right there that from this movie list that we're going to have to concat again, and that is going to give us a movie. Sorry, let me return this. concat map. So ignore some of the times where we're seeing these errors. Those are coming from Quokka, mainly for the fact that we haven't filled in the function. So now that we're down to a level where we've got the videos, is that now we have to go in and simultaneously is pull out the box arts and the interesting moments because they're on the same level. So I mean, we can map over one, but then when we map over that one, then we have to map over another one, but they're not being done at the same time because what we have to do is we have to be able to um, simultaneously look at the index as we do with zip. And so what we're going to have to do here is that we're going to have to now use the zip. So what we're going to do here is use our zip method. And with our zip method is that we've got the signature being a left array, a right array, and then a combine function. So now here's where it gets a little bit more interesting than where we had it yesterday. Is that the left array is going to be the box arts. Then the right is going to be the interesting moments. And then we're going to have a function that we're going to take in a box art and an interesting moment. Spell that right. All right. Now, this is actually a little bit more not so. Knowing that this is a video, that it's not a movie. So from the movie lists, we then want to get a video, not a movie. So now from within inside of the video is that, so we can say from our video is that we want box arts and we want interesting moments. Now that's not going to give us much right now because what we want to do is we want to return an object that looks like this. But how are we going to be able to do that? Well, the ability with zip is that we can actually transform and project. Sorry, I'm still trying to work on my. Let me just get these lined up. Okay, is that we're able to actually do some work on each of these arrays before we do anything with the callback function. So with this one is that we know with the box arts is that we want to be able to get the smallest. So if we want to do something like that, is that we would reduce. And we know with the reduce is that we have an accumulator and we have a current. And then here we're going to do some checking. And here we want to check and see if the accumulated width times the accumulated height is less than the current width times the current height. If that be the case, we're going to return the accumulator. Else, we'll just return the current. Now, let's just do some things here. Okay. All right, so here we're reducing down this the current array so that we're able to get the smallest. So now the interesting moment here is that we need to get let me pull this open. The interesting moments that are in the middle. So we see the type is middle. So with that said, is that we're going to take the interesting moments and we're going to filter. And from there, oh, is that we're going to get an interesting moment. And then from the interesting moment, we're going to return the interesting moment type that is equal to middle. And then now from here, we are going to, let's see if that's right. I want to make sure that everything lines up right. Okay, let's just put this on the same line. Yikes. All right, so now with that in place, is that with this, with our zip, is that now we're able to return the object that we're looking for. So our ID is going to be our video ID. Our title will be the video.title because we still have access based upon our closure that to the video. And then we're going to have the time. Is that what we needed here? Yeah, we needed time. Oh, ID, title, time. And this will be the interesting moment type. Time. I think that's right. And then the URL is the box art URL. Okay. Let's see what happens. See what we're missing here. Excuse me. That's not always good to do. Return movie list concat map. All right. We're missing something here. Let's see. Are we supposed to be returning? No, we can't return from that because we're returning below. Where is it? So here we've got that. Concat map. We're going to take it down to a movie list. And then from there, we've got an array of 2 videos that we're then going to concat map down to a video. Huh. So let's see if we can stop current. Now let's see. Let me just make sure that Quokka is doing everything right for me. Yeah, can't blame it on Quokka. So movie lists. All right, so movie list. We're going to take it down. To a movie list. And then the movie list, why can't we concat map on the movie list? Because we want to map over is not a function. Movie list. Function. Concat map. So there we're mapping over the movie list. And then once we map over, we are going to then, instead of having an array of 2 videos, we're going to have an array of 1. Huh. What is it that I'm missing here? We have to concat map. Am I using concat map? Concat map. Is it not a function? It's not even giving me that. Ah. So now I have to go one level deeper. So I need to get the videos. There we go. Okay. So obviously we did the first level of the movie list, and so we concat those in, and then we have to go one level deeper into the movie list and find the videos. And then we're going to concat map over those, and then we're going to have a video that then we're going to be able to have. So we've got our box arts, we've got our interesting moments, and then we've got our function that's going to return the object that we need. Now, so with zip is that we're simultaneously able to uh, do what it is that we need to do to return the actual values that we're looking for. So with the box arts, we're having to reduce, and we did this a few days ago, to where we're able to do a check and find out which of the box arts is the smallest of those. And then the interested moments, we're going to filter on the type of the interested moment. And then we need the one that actually is assigned the value middle. So with that is that after we've done that, then we have a combined function that we use, and we take in box art and interested moment, and then we're able to return the object that we have listed here. So if we take a look here, we got 770, we've got Die Hard, we've got the time, and we've got the URL. So let's check this out. 133. And you can see we've got 133 on Die Hard with the 150. Let's check out a couple others. 6453 and 665. 6453 and 665. Good. All right, so this just kind of gives you an idea, and obviously even by doing, creating these methods that abstract away a lot of the mental uh, capacity, the mental memory, mental, anything mental, you still have these times to where you even have to mentally think what it is that, there's still the how process of how you're going to be able to do it. And that is going to happen when you have, data structures that, actually go in and, further in with, an array of an arrays that have two arrays. There's just a lot that you have to do. So I'm finding out that as I continue to do this, is that there's still the mental overload, mental capacity that you really do have to be able to take in consideration. So, the one thing I will say though is that we have been able to take all of this code that we have stuffed away, that I'm showing to you, and stuffing this away, and then we're able to more succinctly uh, make it to where we have less code we have to think about. And let's also go a level, one level less, to where we write it in a ES6. Um, uh, let's do that. So if we just take away some of this unneeded code, uh, and then let's be able to dwindle this down to a little bit less code, and then that will give us the opportunity. I wonder even if we still have to hold on to this. We can turn it into accumulator else current. Let's get rid of this. Did I do that wrong? Okay. Let's get rid of this. What happened here? Interesting moments. Let's get rid of some of this. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of this. All right. Let's get rid of this. Get rid of that. So now we've taken it even a step to where now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 lines of code. As opposed to even like if we had to look at the reduce, is that I mean that alone in itself is more than what we've been able to get ourselves down to. So it's been a learning process here for me, just to try to understand how we can actually use these methods and be able to go into a data set that's really complex, getting more complex, and then being able to actually dwindle it down into what it is that we want to be able to return as our value. So this was another interesting problem set, and being able to really start to combine these methods together has been a really interesting educational process. So hope there might be some value to this for you. And I'm going to be back tomorrow, and we will continue on with the next problem set. Thank you for your time.